So let's talk about the story of SNS. It's a fascinating look at how a company took that all too familiar feeling of frustration and flipped it on its head, turning it into a real engine for innovation. We're going to break down exactly how they went from a simple problem to building an entire ecosystem for growth. You know that feeling, right? When you're dealing with some system or process and you just can't help but think, there has got to be a better way. Well, that exact feeling, that little spark, is where this whole journey begins. But for the team at SNS, this wasn't just some passing thought. Oh no, it was a call to action. They looked around and saw a serious lack of just common sense in how big problems were being tackled. So they decided to make it their mission to bring it back, to weave it into the very fabric of how they worked. And that kicked off a real quest for them. They were hunting for a smarter, more intuitive framework to deal with really complex, messy, real-world challenges. They were totally convinced that all the chaos and confusion they were seeing wasn't just how things had to be. It was a problem that could actually be solved if you had the right approach. And you know where that search led them? Straight to the heart of modern innovation, the Stanford D School and the legendary design firm IDEO. And it was right there that they found it, the missing piece of the puzzle they'd been looking for all along. The answer was something called design thinking. Now, I know what you might be thinking, another buzzword, right? But stick with me here, because this is way more than that. It's a really powerful human-centered method for solving problems. It's all about, first, really understanding the people you're designing for. Then you define the real problem, brainstorm a ton of solutions, build a quick prototype, and then you test it out. It was the blueprint they needed to bring logic and, frankly, sanity back into their work. And I mean, look at the difference here. This was a complete 180. It went from a world of total confusion and just random ideas being thrown at the wall to a new way of working built on clarity, a repeatable process, and a deep, deep focus on what people actually need. It was a straight-up move from chaos to a structured, creative system. But here's the thing. They figured out pretty quickly, and it's a big one. A framework is just a piece of paper. It's a document. Real lasting change only happens when people actually buy in and adopt a new way of thinking. So, to make design thinking really work, they knew they had to build an entire culture around it. So what did they do? They didn't just adopt a new process. They built something so much bigger. They created a whole innovation ecosystem, a foundation specifically designed to nurture and grow new ideas from the ground up systematically. And at the very heart of this new culture are what they call the 3 Ps. It's actually pretty simple. It all starts with purpose, making sure every single action has real meaning behind it. Then that purpose gets put into process, using that design thinking framework we just talked about. And finally, none of it happens without the right people who are empowered to bring it all to life. Okay, so who are these right people? Well, for SNS, it's all about finding folks with what they call core competencies. You can see it here. It's this perfect sweet spot where 3 things overlap. The right attitude, or passion, that's the heart, the right practical skills, the gear, and the right foundational knowledge, the book. It's right there, at that intersection, where real progress happens. All right, so you've got the culture. On top of that foundation, they built a structure made of 5 interconnected pillars. And these aren't just some nice-sounding corporate values. Nope, these are active commitments to things like learning and creativity, career development, social responsibility, and so on. Altogether, they create this amazing environment where innovation can actually flourish. So, let's recap. They've built the culture and the structure. They have this incredible system. But you know, even the best designed car in the world needs a powerful engine if you really want it to fly. It needs something to accelerate it and unlock its true potential. And that brings us to the engine of their progress. This is the key piece of technology that they used not to replace human talent, but to amplify it, to take it to a level they never thought was possible. So, what was it? What was this game-changing tech? What was the catalyst that took their entire ecosystem and just launched it into overdrive? Artificial intelligence. Yep, AI was the engine that supercharged their entire system. But, and this is so important, it was always designed to augment human creativity, not automate it away. It was a tool to make people better. So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, the AI creates these learning paths that are totally personalized to what you need and what your goals are. It can generate custom study notes and tests for you right on the fly. And maybe the coolest part, it connects learners directly with real-world startup challenges from top-tier incubators like Y Combinator. Pretty amazing, right? So when you put all these pieces together, the culture, the process, the people, and the technology, it all starts pointing toward one single, really bold vision for the future. This is the moment a system stops being just a system and starts becoming a movement. And here it is. Their vision is to make design thinking the default operating system for every single mind. The big idea is to help cultivate a mindset where challenges aren't seen as roadblocks anymore, but as incredible opportunities for creative problem solving. And to make a vision that huge a reality, you need a mission that's tangible, measurable, and, well, let's just say it's incredibly ambitious. 1,000. That's the number. Their mission is to launch 1,000 new AI-powered startups, with every single one built on that foundation of human-centered design and supercharged by artificial intelligence. And listen, this isn't just some number they pulled out of thin air. It's a concrete 10-year plan. They start by building out the foundational programs in year 1, focus on scaling up the whole ecosystem by year 5, and hit that ultimate goal of 1,000 startups launched by year 10. And this really brings the whole journey full circle, doesn't it? That initial little spark of frustration grew into something truly transformative. It's just a powerful reminder that when you combine human-centered design with incredible technology, you don't just build better systems. You actually start to build a better future. So as we wrap up, let's go all the way back to the beginning. Back to that feeling of frustration. What problem, what system, what annoyance in your own world is just an opportunity in disguise? What frustration is just waiting for its design?